Hello, hello, hello. Can everyone hear me all right? Grand. I see we've got Will Mike be the final girl? Yes, I think so. I'm the only one here, so it'll have to be me. And Laurie, of course. Isn't he always the final girl? Thank you, Chaticus, of course. And Chaticus, thank you for supporting the Patreon. I really appreciate it. That really made my day, so I really do appreciate that. Nothing says Valentine's Day like running from a serial killer. Oh, Bryce, of course we're going to win, man. Like, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. I went all in on this, both seasons 1 and 2. Chaticus, I missed this on Kickstarter, actually, when it first backed, when it first went up. And I actually missed the second Kickstarter. So I was sort of very late to the game on this. And it's probably because I don't really do solo games. I didn't do solo games before the channel and before the pandemic, and now I do a lot more of them. I've got to say I quite like them, and I thought that this one looked pretty fun, particularly for the show, but I did find myself quite enjoying learning it in my own time. So this is only going to be game 2. I'll talk a bit about how game 1 went. Obviously what I've got here for this live stream, as you can see set up here. Why am I over there? Right. I'm gonna have to. This is all still a bit messed up, the stream settings from Europa, because everything had to be a bit unique for that. So what I've got set up here is, of course, Hands and Camp Happy Trails, which is like the sort of the definitive starting setup for Final Girl. And if you don't know anything about this game, very briefly, there's a core box which contains components needed to play the game, but no actual game. And then, in order to play any game, you need expansions, and every expansion is a scenario and a villain, and you can mix and match them across all the boxes. So the more boxes you have, the more variety you have. If you really don't know anything about this game, I don't know where you've been, but this is published by Van Wilder Games. I've completely forgotten who designed it. I will get you. Here we go. So it was designed by AJ Porfirio and Evan Derrick, with art by Tyler Johnson, Vladislava Ladkova, Tumo Mir, and Roland McDonald. And it is published by Van Ryder. God, Van Wilder's a movie. Ignore that. Van Ryder Games, who we've covered before on the channel only once when we did LA Detective. Oh God, what was it called? The one versus many sort of crime-solving game, which we thought was okay. But they're also famous, of course, for doing the crime scene negotiator games. And of course, that is another solo game where everything's resolved using dice. Chad Mail says, where can I get the core box from? I'm in the UK. Chad, well, I don't know. They fulfilled, I don't know when they fulfilled the Kickstarter, but this came out in retail in the UK in around October. And I think it's, I don't know how sold out it is what I'm trying to say. But Lucard says, we also like you doing solo games. Well, it's hardly solo. I've got all of you here to play with me. But Chad, I would keep an eye out for. I mean, the thing about Van Ryder, as we've seen with their support for Hostage Negotiator, is that they keep reprinting it. If it sells, they keep reprinting it, and they've reprinted this. At least they've sort of done one big print run, which I assume was the retail release as well as the Kickstarter fulfillment. And then they are going to reprint it again, Series 1, when they deliver on Series 2. But this is just the retail stuff, so I bought the core box, and I bought a bunch of the film boxes. I've only opened Hans and the Camp Happy Trails, which is supposed to be the sort of simplest and easiest to get started with. I've played one game of it, and now I'm going to play game 2. So there are 2 final girls in the first box. And oh yeah, if you don't know anything at all about what the premise of this is, it is a board game, a solo board game where you play as the final girl, which is a horror movie trope wherein some evil entity, whether it's the xenomorph from Alien, the Thing from The Thing, Freddy from Nightmare on Elm Street, or Michael Myers from Friday the 13th. One of these, Michael Myers from Halloween, or... No, did I have that right? I've confused Michael Myers... I'm confusing... who's the villain in Friday the 13th? Jason, thank you. Jason from Friday the 13th and Michael Myers from Halloween. You're Jamie Lee Curtis from Halloween, or you're Ripley from Alien, or you're that poor girl from The Descent. Hopefully we're not her. Anyway, Jason Voorhees, thank you, Chaticus. Yep. You're the protagonist, the unlikely heroine of the horror movie who has to defeat the evil and save the day. And so you've got these movie boxes, which are a scenario, which could be, the caves from Descent. I don't think there is one of those, actually. But the sort of the most approachable box, because everything has its own little rules, is Camp Happy Trails, it's called, which comes with the villain Hans. So Hans is this butcher character here, and he looks like this horrible pig guy. And then you've got, or he wears this mask. I think there's some story about it somewhere, actually. Hold on, we might have lore. And I know you guys like lore, so let's have a quick look here for lore. They say he wears a worn butcher's smock stained with blood. His sledgehammer, which he drags behind him, supposedly weighs over 50 pounds, which is about 25 kilograms in sensible numbers, and could crush an elephant's skull. He's over 7 feet tall and his eyes glow a bright scarlet, but the worst part is the iron mask he wears, fashioned to look like a pig, and the wet crunching sounds that can be heard from beneath it. So Hans is a sort of a facsimile for the sort of maniac serial killer type villain from Halloween or Friday the 13th. And in Friday the 13th style, we've got Camp Happy Trails here, which is this nice, or we can actually go into the better camera. Here we go. It's this nice summer camp where the teens have gone to relax and get away from the hustle and bustle of day-to-day life. Unfortunately, it's all going to go quite wrong in a minute. The best final girl of them all, Arnie and Predator. Yes, Lucard, can't argue with that. So what we've got here is... in each box it comes with 2 final girls, and in sort of true replayability style, all the final girls are entirely interchangeable as well. So you pick a scenario map, and you pick a villain, and then you pick a final girl from all of the final girls you've got. You combine the 3 things, and then you kind of ride the roller coaster to see how it works out. Your job is to kill the big bad monster before he escalates over the course of the game and becomes an unkillable machine. So in Camp Happy Trails, we have 2 final girls. We've got Laurie and Rico, and in this one we're going to be playing Laurie mostly because I just played Rico in my other game. And they have slightly different. They're asymmetrical, and if you can save enough innocent civilians, you'll get to level up to their special final girl final form, and that'll help you to defeat the enemies. So I've left all the kind of setup here because there's some randomized elements of setup, but most of the game is actually like hand management and sort of with a little bit of resource management. And this pool of action cards here is basically the whole game. So we'll be dealing with that, but we're gonna play as Laurie. So we pop her card down here. Riker goes back in the box. But as I said, you have a large number of final girls that you can play as, and if you have all of them, you can just shuffle them up and deal one out at random, or pick one however you want. I think in the rulebook it says just pick one at random, but for this purpose, we're going to play Laurie. I did have the one other final girl, actually, but I can't find the card, so hopefully I haven't lost it. I say final girl. I've got, like I said, some more boxes, but the other one I opened was Death from Above, which is a little box, which I had to pick up because it's Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. And so the baddie is The Birds. And I was like, that's gotta be fun. I think the baddie's The Birds for that one. Not entirely sure how it integrates, actually. And he says, I like how they all come with a special weapon. Yeah, so they all come with, in each box, for each box you'll get a sort of, Eddie says, Death from Above is a tough one. So you'll also get these secret envelopes hidden in the box, which we're not going to look at because spoilers, but when you win a game with the particular final girl, you get to open this and find out what's inside. Which is presumably, I guess, item cards to add to the item deck. But you don't know. You never know. So for setup, what we've got going on here is we've got a terror deck, which is terror cards. This is going to be controlling the villain's behavior, and we've got 2 sets of terror cards, one for Hans, one for Camp Happy Trails. We've shuffled them together to make a randomized deck. We don't know which ones are which and where they are, and now we're going to deal out 10 of these. And do let me know how the music is. I know some of these tracks are a little louder than others, so we can turn that down a little bit. Incidentally, actually, you know, let's not go off on a tangent because we might not have time. I don't know how long this is going to be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Boom. So that's our starting terror deck. This is set aside. We might need those depending on what happens, but we probably won't. So the terror deck is going to live over here next to Hans. Sorry for the glare. We've also got these health tokens, and on the back of these is a random number between 0 and 3, and we're each going to have one. And so when we are one for the final girl, one for the villain, and so these are going to go onto our boards here. So this is our health with Laurie. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 health, and we're going to do Hans as well, and he's got 12 health. So there's his starting token, and he's going to get another 11. And what's kind of wild about this is that when they're killed, we're not actually going to kill them right away. What we're going to do is we're actually going to take the token, flip it over, and then they sort of come back with that much health. So maybe they're dead, or maybe they're still kicking, and that's kind of, you know, because, you know, when Ripley gets off the ship in the escape shuttle, of course, the alien was hiding in there, and it came with her, and it didn't blow up on the Nostromo like you thought. So this is sort of representative of that. Fortunately, we've also got our second wind as well, so potentially we can also come back if, you know... Oh no! If we get slain. But maybe we won't. It's unknown. Who knows? Butterfingers today. There we go. So that's all set up. Now we can also check up here, which is the starting horror value. And we're going to set that for here on this track here. So we start with 4 horror. You always start with 6 time. Time is a resource that we're going to use. Now, if you've played this before, and it sounds like you have, Eddie, if I get anything wrong, please do call it out. Because, you know, like I said, I've played once, but, you know, it's possible I'll have remembered a rule or misunderstood something. And so I'm more than happy for you to chime in with corrections and whatnots. So we start with 0 Bloodlust on hands there. This is our starting setup card. We get to have 1 starting finale card as well out of these 3. So there we go. That goes down there like that. And what this does is it also sets... Oh, good. Nobody can see that. Well, you can see this symbol here combines with the symbol on the back of the card there to give him an action, which he's going to do during the killer phase. And that action is he's going to target the closest thing and stab it. If it's a victim, he'll stab a victim. If the final girl's also in his space, he'll stab her. Well, he'll stab victims first. He'll kill victims, and then if it's just the final girl, he'll kill her. Billy Spencer says, the dice hate me in this game. Well, They'll probably hate me too. I'm notorious for being hated by dice. Now here we've got our minor dark powers. Are these all the... Yeah, so this is the super dark power, which we'll discard for now. But that's one way to escalate the difficulty of the game. One of these minor dark powers is called an epic dark power, which makes things tougher. Right, so that's also going down there. And when his bloodlust escalates to here, we trigger the dark power, we flip over this card, and he gets harder. And of course, when the terror deck runs out, this card flips over, and he gets augmented behavior, which is much more fearsome. So there we go, we've set up our killer there to start. And now we're going to set up some item decks. We've got 3 locations on the board here, where we can find items, which are the docks here, the cabins here, and the utility shed over here. And we're going to be running around trying to find useful things with which to pummel Hans, who you can see here. That's Rico, isn't it? Yeah, because I was just playing with her. Where's Laurie gone? There she is. So I'm going to be playing with these two. And we'll find out where they start with this setup card as well. I don't know if I've done this quite in the right order, but it doesn't matter because there's no decision making at this stage. Right, so we get 4 cards in each deck with the top one flipped face up. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So the cabins, there's a whistle in the cabins. We'll find out what that does in a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. There is an energy drink on the dock. Not very useful. 1, 2, 3, 4. And a first aid kit in the utility shed. The problem is none of these are a weapon. So here is... Did I do that right? Yeah, 1, 2, 3. And then the other items are just not in the game. So here's the whistle. It says... Stupid campers, gotta get their attention somehow, even if it's risky. So we're going to be saving the campers. They're going to be the victims in this one. Spend time to use the whistle once per action phase. When used, all victims adjacent to you will move to your space, and then all enemies will move towards you as well. As long as you have the whistle, one additional victim will follow you. That's useful. So we can save people at a faster rate. And we can unlock Laurie's super huge power, which is going to be... when you are in the same space as an enemy and inflict damage, do an additional damage. That's great. That'll make up for the fact that there's no weapons here. So we'll just lock these into position here, and it says below cabin, so those are the cards at the cabin, and that's the docks, the cards at the docks. And here we've got the first aid kit. I'm just going to turn off the focus on the table camera. I don't know why that's being such a fussy pants today. I don't know if it'll help if I adjust the exposure. No, though, that's obviously not helped. I mean, you still can't see these cards at all, so never mind. Sorry for sleeving them. I was shuffling them and I wanted to sleeve them, and I apologize. So here's the setup. So we're doing capture the flag setup. So we're going to start on makeout point. Oh, that's a massive pain. The killer's going to start at... Wait a minute. Have I just been adjusting the wrong camera? No, surely not. Oh, I think I have. Yes, I have been adjusting the wrong camera. That's why. Okay, bear with me. Yeah, okay. Now I'm adjusting the right camera. I mean, I don't think that's really all that much better, but there we go. Alright, cool. So we're going to do this starting setup here. So that has us at makeout point. The killer's going to start over by the docks, and we're going to have campers scattered all over the shop. So we are Laurie, and we're going to start here at makeout point. Tragically, all by herself, apparently. We were up at makeout point. Maybe we were waiting for someone and they never showed up. That's sad. FYI, it's not a game breaker, but you're supposed to add the secret weapon to the location deck at random. Eddie, but you only get the secret weapon if you've unlocked it. I haven't even played with Laurie yet. I don't have any secrets unlocked. So we've got someone here at the utility shed. We've got 2 folks over here. Hey, Haggers, no stress. I set this up very late, so that's once again just my fault. I was going to be streaming Oathsworn with Chris tonight, but he unfortunately had to go into work, so now we're doing this, which is fine, because I wanted to do this anyway. Great. So here are all of our victims. We have to save them before Hans gets them and murders them. And that is all of the setup. So the last thing we're going to do is we're going to take our event cards here, give these a shuffle, and draw a random event card. Wow. Come on, frame rate. I got something running in the background here. Nope, just terrible frame rate on this camera. If you'd like the top-down camera to have a better frame rate, please consider supporting the Patreon. Link in the description and on the page. Okay, cool. Sorry for the block. Right, here we go. First event. And these can all go away, because we don't really need those anymore. Dark waters. If you go for a swim, you ain't ever coming back. Place the Dark Waters token on the lake. All the victims at the lake are killed. Fortunately, there's none. Whenever a victim enters the lake, they are killed immediately. Oh, good. Great. Love that for me. That's just in play for the whole game now. It will never go away, and I can't resolve it. Presumably I can go through the lake, though, because I'm not a victim, so at least there's that. What's in the water? Hans. Hans is a underwater murderer. So here's our starting hand of cards. We've got all of these 0 time action cards, and I will put these out here. I don't know why I'm shuffling them. I don't need to shuffle them. We've got Focus, Focus, Walk, Walk, Weak Attack, and Short Rest. So what these are doing, effectively... Do I have a... I don't really have a... Do I have something that's looking at these? Oh, I set up all of these screens and none of them... And it's off camera. Oh, complete fail. Okay, so... Here we go. So the deal with these cards is that we can play as many as we can sort of resolve them. They don't have a cost to play necessarily, but the outcome might be that you lose time. You have 6 time. Time is also useful because in addition to potentially needing it to or losing it as an outcome of these cards, if you lose all of your time, the action phase ends immediately. But also we use it to buy cards from this marketplace here, and so if we don't buy any cards, we might just wind up with no cards in hand. So that's a thing. This is the rounds here actually. So you've got an action phase where you can run around and play cards and do stuff. Then you've got a planning phase where you can purchase the cards that I just showed you in the tableau and time will reset. And then you've got a killer phase where the murderer is going to act and do stuff. Followed by a panic phase where if someone was murdered, people will panic. And finally an upkeep phase where the game might escalate if the tarot cards are run out, and otherwise we can rearrange things here in our inventory that we can't arrange otherwise, except when we get new items. But in any case, I think, I'm stuck here on Makeout Point, and I want to go and I want to save some of these kids. I also want to find some stuff. Oh god, Makeout Point's the worst. Anyway, I don't really have much choice other than to try to walk. I'm just having a look and having a think about whether or not I'll play any focuses to try to de-escalate the terror level. I don't know if that's necessary right now. So let's just start with a walk and throw 2 dice and see what happens. And the good news is the dice in this game are red, so we can see them on the green screen. The terror level is currently here, which means that we get 2 dice. If it gets particularly bad, we'll only get 1 die, and if it gets better, we can unlock 3 dice. But keeping the terror level down is quite difficult. Incidentally, the game ends when either Hans is dead or we are dead, right? It just carries on until such time as somebody has died. Alright, so I see a success and 2 action cards. So there are 3 faces on this die. They're also d6s, so they've got numbers on them as well, which you can see here. But what we've got is 5 and 6 are stars. That's a success. 3 and 4 are this double card symbol. I'll explain. And 1 and 2s are blanks, which means a failure. And so what we're going to do is we're going to check these successes against the sides of our action, the action we're trying to resolve. So when you play a card, you roll the 2 dice, and then you check, did you get 2 successes? Resolve this row. Did you get 1? Resolve this row. Did you get 0? Then you've got this bottom row to resolve, which sometimes gives you a choice. So you can see here with Walk, which is the card that lets us move around the board. If we get the best result, which is 2 successes, we get to move 2 spaces, and then we lose a time. If we get 1, it's 1 space and lose a time. And if we get no successes, we can move a space, lose a health and 2 time, or lose 2 time. There's also some flavor text here. It says, 1 foot in front of the other, nice and slow. There is a bloodthirsty killer after me, but that's no reason to panic, right? Well, so I've got 1 success, and this result can be turned into a second success at the cost of 2 cards. So I think that's probably a pretty good idea. I don't really need the short rest or the weak attack right now because I'm quite far from the killer and I am on full health. So let's give up these 2 to convert this into a success, and now we can do the top roll, move 2 spaces, and lose 2 time. So when these are spent, I just turn them face down to make a little discard pile over here. This one goes to join it, and we can move 2 spaces. So I think for this purpose, we only really have one option, which is to go 1 to the cliff, 2 over here. We could have moved into the water here by the lake to go to the dock, but I kind of want to get to the cabins so I can get the whistle and save more people. So more on that in a minute. But there we go. That's our movement. 1, 2. Now we could walk again. We've only got walk and focus left. We could walk again. But now, what would I? But I'm inclined to save it. So I think actually I'm just going to end my turn for now. So I'm going to keep these cards here in my hand. I can also discard these to... Oh, we lost a time as well. Sorry, we lost 1 time when we played that card. So now you can discard cards at any point during this phase as well to gain time. But I'm quite happy. I'm okay with 5 time at the moment. Maybe I should be thinking more about my future, but I don't know. It's fine. I'm not worried yet. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So the minute we're done the action phase, we go into the planning phase where we can purchase cards. And what we've got are all these cards here, and they've all got a time cost in the bottom right. So we've got one called Guard here. It costs 2 time. So we're going to spend whatever time we have left over, which is 5, to buy these cards. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to purchase a sprint card for 2, because this lets me move further. So it's the same as the move card, but it goes further, although it is a bit of a catastrophe if it goes wrong. So we buy sprint, we add it to our hand, it costs 2 times. So we go down here to 3. Then we can purchase, we've still got 3 to spend. I think are we going to get to the cabins? Feasibly, but maybe we should be saving people. No, because we want to get the whistle. So to get the whistle, we need a search card. It costs 2, so we'll buy that for 2. We go down to 1 cost left. There is only 1 cost in the game. The search card is the card that's going to let us go and hunt through these decks of cards here for stuff we might need. We have to be at specific locations on the board to use it. So if you want to hunt through the cabins, you need to be at the cabins location. All of the searchable locations have a little spanner icon as well as an orange border. There are also exit locations in green, which show this door down here. This is where we're going to take these innocent people in order to save them, and the rest of the spaces are just in white. There might be more different types of spaces on other maps. I don't know. I haven't looked. But in any case, what we've done here is we have purchased these 2 cards for 4. We're down to 1. We're going to buy Close Call, which is the only 1-cost card in the game, which says, after a horror roll, play this to reroll a die, or reroll all your dice for 2. Now, here's a question for you, Eddie. Do you know if you can elect to reroll just 1 here? Oh, Bonbon. Hang on, I've got a little cat here asking to come in. Hi, sweetheart. Promise not to wreck the game? Alright. She says, I promise nothing. Emma4 says, I only play this game with regular dice, so I don't feel like the dice is loaded or weighted. Emma4s, what do you mean? Van Ryder wouldn't make weighted dice, surely. Right, so we've purchased all of these cards, so we're down to 0 time. So the next part of the planning phase after purchasing of cards is to reset the time to 6. Boop, goes back up to 6. And then the cards that we played in the last round are added into the tableau for purchase next time. This includes the 0-cost cards we started with. So we'll put these out here like this. So now we can purchase those next time we do that planning phase. So you can see you're not guaranteed to get the cards back. There's also a maximum hand size of 10, but we're way off of that for now, so we don't need to worry about that. Eddie says, from what I understand, you can't. Right, elect to reroll some number of dice. That's fair. I mean, all is very much in bold and caps. It doesn't say up to the total number you rolled. Cool. Okay. I mean, it's very rare for you actually to roll 3 dice. It'll only happen if you've got this terror level down, or if you've got this planning card here. Right, so that's all done. So now we're into the killer phase, where we're going to start by resolving the killer's action. The killer's action is if he's in he's going to do a murder in his space. Fortunately, there's no one there, so we're going to go ahead and just reveal a terror card from the top of the deck, which is Fire! Roll a die to determine which space bursts into flames. Oh, this is bad. Please don't be the cabins. Okay, not a 1 or a 2, ideally. Touch wood. Am I touching wood? This is made of wood. It's fine. That is... What is that? That's a 6, isn't it? That's a 6. Which is... The dock. How ironic. The dock bursts into flames. All victims in that space are killed. Fortunately, there's none. Discard all item cards from that space. And if you or the murderer are there, you each lose a health. So currently there's no one at the docks. But I don't know how bad this is going to be. It might be quite bad that we've just lost a whole deck of items from the game. Anyway, so that's the terror card resolved. So then we go into the panic phase, but no one was killed, so there's no panic. And then we will go into the upkeep phase, where we can reveal this if necessary and rearrange these, but we don't have any of that to do, so we're back to the action phase. So you can see it's fairly clip pace, you know, things go by pretty quickly. So what I want to do, I think, if I can, is sprint to the cabins to try and find the whistle. So let's play the sprint card and see what happens. Oh, by the way, there are 3 versions. So if you know these kinds of games at all, there's often sort of like a ruling for resolving ambiguities. It is quite often, especially in the Tainted Grail sort of Awaken Realms adventure games, called the Grim Rule, which means that if you can rule something against yourself or take the worst outcome or something like that, there are 3 rules for resolving ambiguities in this game. You can choose either the rule of infinite evil, which is resolve it in such a way that it's the worst outcome for you. The rule of abject realism, resolve it in a way that results in the most realistic or thematic outcome. And finally, the rule of never-ending hilarity, resolve it in the way that is the funniest. we recommend you pick one of these to play and resolve any ambiguities in that manner. I think that I will be using abject realism because realistic or thematic seems like it'd make the best kind of play for the game. But if there is a possibility for a really funny outcome, I'll pick that instead. Which means I'm not picking the evil one that makes it super difficult for myself. Don't worry, we'll get there. If we play it more than once, we can escalate the difficulty and make it thoroughly miserable. Hager says, hilarity is subjective. Yeah, it's true. You might all think that the funniest outcome is the grim dark one that just brutalizes me. Anyway, here we go. We're sprinting over to the cabins to find our whistle, which is, of course, the first thing you do when a maniac chases you. Alright, so we've got a fail and a double cards. So that's no good. I don't like that. I might spend 2 time to reroll them both. Alright. Hey, Bon, please don't wreck the game for us. Or I might just reroll that too. I really wanted 3 spaces of movement, but it just doesn't look like 2 successes are happening. Yeah, I tell you what, let's spend a focus and the close call card to actually just go 2 spaces. So we'll take the middle result here, which is move 2. So we spend a time and we can go 2 spaces. So we'll go 1, 2 into here. And we're 1 space away from the cabins. Womp womp. Oh, do we have bonus movement on our hero card? We have time and bonus movement on our card down here, so there might be something useful we can do with that. In the meantime, these 3 all done into the discard. Blap. Right, now it's time to walk. Better roll, please. Oh no, it's not really any better. If I discard all of these cards, then oh, she really wants the dice. She's sitting in the green screen. Oh my god. Yeah, that's right. You're gonna have to get out of there or we're not gonna be having a show. If Bonbon rerolls them. Oh, look at that. She's continuing to betray me. After all that, she's still, Have we frozen this camera, Bonbon? Did you freeze the green screen? That's no good. Yeah, she's totally frozen the green screen. Oh, great. And she didn't even change the results. They're still rubbish. Alright, might have to fix that in a minute, because we kind of need that green screen for this show. And as you can see, there are now two dice just frozen on there. But we've still got the same result. So I can discard focus and search to add a success. I'm not going to do that because I want both of these. What's the point in getting to the cabins if we don't have the search card? Not much. So what I'll do is I'll move 1 space into the cabins, like that. So I've made it here, but at what cost? And the cost is 1 health and 2 time. So maybe this was a bad idea. We'll find out in due course. But we lose a health, and we lose 2 time. That should. We already lost 1 actually, so now we're on 3, which isn't great. Okay. But we made it to the cabins, and that's good. So that goes in the discard, and I guess... Now the question is, do I search, knowing that I'm just going to have to live by what I roll? Or do I wait a turn? I think I can afford to wait. I think waiting is sensible here. So I'm just going to very quickly go ahead and restart this stream so I can fix this camera. What have you done, kitty cat? Why is this broken now? You promised me you wouldn't be annoying. Alright, so stream's going to go down for 2 seconds. It'll be right back, so just make sure you hit refresh. Make sure you hit refresh in 2 seconds. Sorry, guys. We back. Fixed the camera. Bonbon left. We should be safe now. But I make no promises at all. And so, yeah, that was it. I was just going to end my turn. So we're going to go into, the planning phase. So I'll put my discard over there for the moment. I'm going to get these 3 cards back. They're all free. They're my 0 cost cards. So these are the ones I played in round 1. We're going to come back here. I'm going to keep Focus and Search in hand. So that's 5 cards. We've got 3 to spend. So I think I'm going to take a Sprint because I'm just trying to save people. With 1 more to spend, I'll take a Close Call. That's the end of that. We're down to 0. We go back up to 6. We add these ones back into the tableau here, which is Sprints back. We've got Focus, Close Call, and Walk as well down there, the 0 cost one. So that's it. And then it is into Hans's turn. He's going to murder someone in his space, but there's none. There's no one there, so it's time for a terror card. And fingers crossed, it's not too bad. What do we got? Let's go see if the rumors are true. Place 2 new victims in the space where the killer started the game. Fantastic, that's where he still is. And then escalate terror and draw an event card. I don't like that. So basically 2 people, 2 complete dumbasses, are like, I wonder if the rumors about the murderer at the lake are true. Oh, I wonder. Oh, is there a murderer here? Okay. What am I looking for? This one. So then... sorry, that's the wrong board. This one. Escalate the terror level and draw an event card. Instant death, yeah. That's exactly how they sound, Haggers. Girlfriend. She's cute, funny, and the biggest badass I've ever known. The victim closest to you is now your girlfriend. She will follow you into the killer's space. While she is in your space, roll an extra die for each horror roll. If the girlfriend dies while in your space, 5 horror. If the girlfriend leaves play, discard this card. Wow, okay, the victim closest to you is now your girlfriend. She'll follow you into the killer's space. Oh, well, we don't want that to happen, because if she dies, and she will, probably, unless we use all the other victims as meat shields. Okay. Interesting. Also, if we take her to the lake, presumably she dies. So, I actually don't know if... So there's 3 options here for closest to my space. It could be this person or these 2, and I'm not sure if I get to pick. But we're going to place them with that person there to note that this is my girlfriend. So I'm just very quickly having a look to see if there is... Oh, there's an ambiguity. So, what did I say? Realistic? And if not realistic, then funny. I'll tell you what, I'll just randomize it with a die. And now we know what you were doing at Makeout Point. Yeah, I was waiting for my girlfriend. Actually, fair enough. If she was on her way to Makeout Point, then she's got to be this one. Because she's slightly closer to Makeout Point. There we go. Cool. Alright, so that's the end of the killer phase. And now we're into the panic phase. No one was killed, so there's no panic. Upkeep phase, there's nothing to do. So we will go straight into the actions phase again. We're going to start with a search as we search for the whistle. So that's 1 success, which is to take the top card from the space we're in, which is fine. So we'll take the whistle here, and we'll add that to our backpack. So actually, I think this is kind of a good time to use the whistle. So if you remember, the whistle can be used to, once per action phase, when used, all victims adjacent to your space move. All victims adjacent to you will move to your space, and then all enemies will move... Targeting the closest girl will move. So basically he'll move towards me, which is great because that means we can move him away from these 2 people who've just come to see if he's real. Also, why am I over here? Sorry, I just want to keep my face in the same spot when we transition. Like I said. Anyway, so if we blow the whistle, we lose a time. And then these 2 campers here, plus my girlfriend, all come to the cabin and they're like, "Hi! So pleased to see you're alive still. Laurie. And then he moves towards me. So we're going to check the shortest route. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, blah, blah, blah. So he moves up here. So that's good. And then we can, now we can, as long as we have the whistle, one of them will follow us. So let's discard the search card. That's done. And let's use sprint. And what we really want here is 2 successes. So we can just put everything into 2 successes. Because then we can... Oh, we get an extra die because my girlfriend's here. Fantastic. Then we can save 2 people, and that's great. We really want to save people. That's how we win. Yeah! Alright, that's bad. So let's spend 2 time to re-roll them all using Close Call. Come on! Better results. That's even worse. So, I don't think we have to worry about these dice being weighted MF4s. Ugh. Right, so Eddie's just reminding me that if you play with Laurie, again, the rules for her secret weapon are inside the card. So, as we said, every final girl comes with a secret special card, which that you get to open when you win a game with that secret girl. So that's Laurie's one there anyway. But I haven't won a game with Laurie, so I don't get to open it. So sprint is we've got 0 successes. That's no good. I don't want 0 successes. So we might be able to resolve this with walk. So in the meantime, let's give up weak attack and short rest. 2 cards to generate 1 success. So we lose a time and we get to move 2 spaces. Oh, actually we only needed 2 spaces. Oh, I'm an idiot. Anyway, that's fine. So we move 2 spaces to the exit and then we can rescue people. Now the question is, do I rescue my girlfriend? Or not? Yeah, I was thinking 3 because I was thinking I still needed to go over here to rescue these 2. But actually when I blew the whistle, they came to me. So, if I rescue my girlfriend, I guess I get closer to unlocking the special power on Laurie's card. So now that we've rescued these people, we can put them onto her card to unlock special bonuses. So the girlfriend gives us an extra die, which is good. And actually, so long as we don't have a weapon, I don't know if we're going to be going to fight. So let's maybe leave because I presume if we rescue the girlfriend, we'll have another person to put out here in our effort to rescue enough people to achieve our final form. But I think that let's keep the girlfriend around for now because I like having the extra die, and also I'm not going to go and fight Hans until I get a weapon. So let's put this one down here, which de-escalates the threat level, which is great. And I think I'm tempted to either take 2 time or an action card because I've only got 2 action cards left, and only 2 time, which is also bad. I've only got 2 0-cost cards in the tableau as well, so these are the only 2 I'm guaranteed coming back to me. I suppose what's my plan for next turn? Go to the utility shed, try to rescue some more people. That seems reasonable, doesn't it? So we can take a card. So let's do it. Let's go and take an action card. And we'll take Sprint, which is cost 2. That's one of Laurie's powers. Take an action card, which is cost 2. Actually, the advantage of that is that we get to take the card right away. But I don't think I'm going to use it this round. Got 2 time as well. That's so bad. So let's just take 2 time, in fact. And we'll go back up to 4. I think that's maybe a good one. We can also move a space. But I think I might just end my turn here for now. So sprint is done. And that's the end of my turn. So We go into the planning phase. We get focus back. We get a walk card back. We can purchase this sprint card for 2, so we're down to 2. So we can purchase a search card, which I guess we should purchase just in case we get to the utility shed. So that's another 2, and we're done. So go back up to 6, and search goes back out. We've got a weak attack, a short rest, and sprint is back there as well. Grand. Now it's time for him to murder someone in his space. Fortunately, we've managed to move him so there's no one in his space, but we are going to get another terror card. Oh, yes, I reset the thing to 6. Yep. All right, he's just standing there. So horror increases by 2 because he's just watching us and it's spooky. And then he's going to move 2 towards the closest thing, which in this case is tied in both cases. So we've got an ambiguity here because normally he moves towards, well, he determines a target. In this case, the target is either the final girl or a victim, whoever's closest. In this case, there are 2 sets of victims, both equally close. So he'd break the tie by number, but they're both 2. So he still breaks the tie. And so there's no additional tie break that I'm aware of. So we go to game ambiguity, I guess, which is, so it's the shortest route. After number, no, it's shortest route, then number, and then I don't know. So the question is, does he go back or forward? Well, actually, again, Billy, nobody's going to die because he's not actually doing an attack. He's just moving towards us. He's just going really fast. So if he was far away, fine. But he's not doing an attack. If he did the killer action first, then he'd be running towards us and then murder someone. But isn't the docks on fire? The docks were on fire, Emma Force. They've gone out now. But yeah, all the dock items burned up in the fire, so that's a shame. Anyway, for want of a better barometer, I guess I'll randomize his movement. Or we could say, actually, realistically, he goes back. He came over here because he heard the whistle. So maybe he keeps moving this way because he's chasing down the whistle. The sound of the whistle. So now he keeps going this way. And he's bumped into 2 more campers. Cool. So that's the end of that. Panic phase. Still no one's died. So upkeep phase. That's the end. There's nothing to do. So it's back to my turn. And we're going to go ahead and go sprinting. In order to see if we can get to the utility shed. And you know, find a weapon. Oh, I get another die because of girlfriend. So that's 2 successes. But I think let's give up a focus and a walk card to get 3 successes. Boom. Crushed it. We just sprinted like a boss all the way across. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3 into the utility shed. We can take these 2 with us. I don't really see the point. We have the whistle anyway, which I will use to move him, I guess, away from the 2 people that he's about to murder. What's the shortest route to me now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Equidistant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now once again we have to use ambiguity to resolve this situation. I suspect he would continue to move around this way because realistically he's chasing the whistle around the lake, right? That's the precedent we set. So I'd much rather he go back the other way. because this puts him dangerously close to the exit I'm using to save my friends. Although this exit is 1, 2, 3 from my current location, and this exit is 1, 2, 3 as well. So actually both the two exits on the map are currently equidistant. Can we just get him to chase me around the lake in a circle while I run around saving people? Do you think that's reasonable? Eddie, really hoping I get those keys for the boat. I'll tell you a little story about that after I'm finished the game, if I remember. The boat keys might not even be in the game. We don't know. Only like half the item cards are even in the game anyway. Yeah, cue Benny Hill theme music, exactly. So, with this in mind, let us now play a search card and hope we get a good roll. So the search card is the one we played last time. While she's in your space, roll a +1 die for each horror roll. Yeah, wild. The girlfriend's amazing. Oh, that's no good, though. So we've got no successes. So I think we have really no choice but to just discard focus and walk to get 1 star, which means we can take the top item card. So we'll take the first aid kit. That doesn't... Oh, that can go straight into our hand there. Every time you use an action card to recover health, recover an additional health. And then all of our cards are done. So, with that in mind, let's... Oh, did we have to spend a time for that? I think we did. Hang on. Where were we? Yep, search with 1 is spend a time. And also sprint 3 spaces at a time. So I should have spent 2 time. Gotta stay on top of that. Right. And now we'll spend another time to use the whistle. Mainly because, as decided, it will move him 1 space towards me like this. It will also move 2 people into my space, actually. Well, 2 people will come into here. That's kind of a shame because there's now 4 in there and they can't all follow me. But that's fine. We'll just leave someone to hide in the utility shed. They'll be safe in the utility shed. They will. They'll be safe in the utility shed. They'll be fine. Okay? They'll be fine. And that's the end of the actions phase because I'm all out of cards. So, now it's time for the planning phase. We're going to get weak attack. We're going to get short rest. We've got 3 to spend. I need sprint again to keep rescuing people. So that costs 2, leaving us just 1 left for a close call. I don't like how few cards we have, but that's that. So we go back up to 6 time. All of these cards enter the tableau, so we'll be getting a nice amount of 0-cost cards next time, which is good. Oh, I should have gotten another search card, though. Do I get a search instead of sprint? Then I can't even move. Am I just going to hide here? I'll tell you what. Let's, instead of sprint, let's take a search card, because there was 1 left here anyway. And then we'll just spend a turn hiding in the utility shed and hope he doesn't get us. Right. Are you coming back in, you terrible monster? You're my monster. Hans is familiar. That's what you are. Come on, then. Come on, then. You can't just sit out there and meow at me. You're ruining my stream. And you don't care. I'm closing the door. Goodbye. Goodbye. In or out? Oh my god, bye. She didn't want to come in. It's fine. So, that's the end of the planning phase. So it's time for the killer phase. Once again, he's not in space with anyone, so they're all fine. But we do have to do a terror card. So, what's it going to be? He wants fresh blood. Well, now someone's going to die. If there are no victims on the board, discard this and draw another one. So he's going to move towards the closest victims and then murder one. So that's clearly these 2 back here. So having got all the way over here to the cabins and discovered that whoever has the whistle is left, he's mad and he runs back here and murders one of these people. And as a result, the bloodlust goes up. And now when we move on to the panic phase, the victim, this guy, will panic. Where will he go? Sorry. This one is panicking. So we roll a die to see where he ends up. It's a 4, so he's going to run along path 4, so he's going to run up this way. Or they are going to run up that way. We don't know who this person is. They're a little yellow meeple. Fine. Good. Upkeep phase. I'm quite happy with my item arrangement. So let's go straight into my turn. It's going to be a pretty simple one. I'm just going to use the search card to try and find more stuff. Eddie's like, I love the boat. Eddie just wants to go on about this boat. Oh, that's no good at all. Alright, I hate that, so I'm going to play Close Call to reroll them. So we go down to 4 time. Roll 3 dice. Well, I guess that's better. We got 1 success. So we could discard 2 cards to get 2 successes, which allows us to draw 2 cards. But I'm kind of happy with just blind drawing the top card and hoping for the best. So I'll stick with the 1 success. Costs me a time to do my hunting, and then we get to draw the top card at random from the utility shed, and hopefully it's something good. Map. I'm going to survive the night. I need to know the lay of the land. Discard during the action phase, and then for each deck of items, do one of the following. If the top card is face down, reveal it. If the top card is face up, you may remove it from the deck and reveal the next card. Okay, fine. Well, do you know what? Like, this is basically... I mean, we only have 2 decks left. They're both face down, so we might as well just ditch that and turn both of these face up and hope there's something good there. So in the cabins, there is mysterious pills. You can take those to reduce the threat level or improve your health. And the next item of the utility shed is the motorboat keys. Well, doesn't that just make Eddie super happy? He loves that boat. Shall I stay and get those? Anyway, we're out of cards. I've only got 2 left anyway, so I call that a turn. These go into the discard. We're going to have a big turn next round, though, I think. Which is now. It's the planning phase. So we can take both of the walk cards back. We can take both focus cards back. I guess I have 3. The problem is I really want a sprint, and I also really want a search. So... because I'd quite like to rescue some people. I'm not finding a weapon, so I need to kind of level up my damage. And I know that that's my superpower. Eddie, really excited about... I don't really rate these motorboat keys. So, we'll see. Am I just going to punch Hans to death? Is that going to be my plan? I'm going to take the sprint card. I'm going to save a bunch of people. We can come back and search for weapons after we're done saving people. If he doesn't escalate his bloodlust, then it's fine. Good. So we're down to 1, so we'll take a close call as well. Now that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can only hold a maximum of 10 cards. The boat helped me win 2 games, so I'm partial to it. Fair enough, Eddie. So this goes back up to 6. The remaining cards are added into the tableau, so it's another search and the other close call. I have all my 0-cost cards in hand, which is not great. I should probably use some of them just to sort of help cycle them between rounds, so I don't have one really bad round and then one really good round. But that's fine. So we're all done there. Yep, so now it's time for the killer. So he's going to murder someone in his space, but there isn't anyone, and so now we're going to have a terror card. Which is, he just keeps coming. So terror level escalates. He moves towards the closest victim and murders them. So the terror level is here. So it goes up to 5. And then he's going to move towards this poor sod over here. And he's going to kill them. That means... oh, that's the wrong one. Bloodlust goes up again. And that means the terror level escalates again. So now it's up at 6, which means it's close to getting here, which is really bad. Because then we only get to throw 1 die, and everything kind of goes a bit wrong. Additionally, if it gets here and escalates again, his bloodlust just goes up. So the good news is, I suppose, that he's all off by himself in a corner. So to you. All right, and that card is done. It's the upkeep phase. There's nothing to do, so it's back to me. And I think I'm probably just going to use sprint and see if we can not just sprint all the way to the exit here and rescue a bunch of people. We can also leave my girlfriend in the utility shed, I guess. I presume we can we just leave her around? Like, we don't have to bring her with us, so we can choose to leave her there. If she behaves like a normal victim. It just means we get fewer dice. But it means we can rescue everyone and then come back and get her in the utility shed later. Alright, so here we go. This is the sprint action. Oh. Okay, so I'm going to spend close call to reroll this one. Alright, and then let's spend a focus and a walk. Focus and walk? I kind of need focus, actually, to de-escalate this nonsense. So let's give up weak attack. I'm not going to use it. I'm so far away from him. And walk to make 3 successes. And then we can take all 3 of these people here and just go 1, 2, 3 to the exit down here. And then get them out of here. Go on, get out of here. This is murderer. And now we've got some more unlocking to do. So we might as well grab this one, which just restores a health, which is great because we're 1 down. Now, also, when we did level 3, we lost a time, so that's down at 5. So maybe we can get 2 time back because I'm going to use the whistle in a minute. And then we can take an action card. Oh, we can take search. Or we could take the other sprint. Because without the other sprint, we're not getting back to the utility shed. Although we are right next to the dock. So yeah, let's take search, actually. We can search the dock. We can get those mysterious pills or something, I don't know. No, there's nothing at the dock. They're all at the cabins. Oh, yeah, okay, I guess we better take sprint, because we need to get back to the utility shed so we can get the boat. I hear it's quite good. But if we spend a time, we can use the whistle, and these 2 folks who are adjacent to us, and actually these 2 folks who are also adjacent to us are all going to come towards us, right? All victims adjacent to you move to your space. That's wild. We can save everybody. That's never happened before. I didn't anticipate that. I knew these 2 were coming. I didn't realize these 2 are also adjacent to the exit. So there we go. 4 people saved. Everyone is saved. Everyone's saved. So this first unlock lets us move 1 space. So I guess let's move back up towards the utility shed, where we're going to get the keys and save our girlfriend. And then we've got the card unlocked. So we get to flip over. We get our boss power, which is whenever you're in the same space as the enemy and inflict damage, do an additional hit. And then for every additional victim saved, have an extra time. So here's 3 extra victims, putting us up to 9 time, which we're going to use to buy a bunch of cool cards. This whistle is incredible. The boat eddy is nothing compared to the whistle. Cool. So I'm going to... Oh, yeah, he has to move towards me as well. If I was here when I used it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he moves back along here as well. And then I'm over here. And I think we should use sprint to go back to our girlfriend. So we've only got 2 dice now. So it's 1 success, which is 2 movement, which is all we need. So we lose a time, and we can go 1, 2 back to the utility shed. Sprint's done. I don't have search, so we'll just hang out here, but we will play, I think, a focus card in order to see if we can get the terror level down a bit. And now that we're back with our girlfriend, we can have 3 dice as well. So that's 1 success. So we lose a time, and the terror level de-escalates to 5. I'm quite happy to use another focus here to try and get it down again, but I'm going to hang on to it just to try and separate out the 0-cost cards a little bit so I don't have them all in the same hand. So with that in mind, this one is discarded over here, and then it is time for planning. We've got 7 costs. So with this in mind, I think we need to be searching for a weapon and thinking about killing Hans before he escalates to utter madness stage. So let's take a search. That takes us down to 5. We can take another search, I guess. Actually, we'll take both searches. That takes us down to 3. I can't take a move because I've actually used them all. I really like improvise and planning, but I can't afford them now. So I'll tell you what, let's spend the rest on a distraction, because the distraction helps us de-escalate the terror level even more. We could potentially get to the 3 dice level, which would be awesome. I mean, we wouldn't. Well, actually, no, even if we used everything, we wouldn't get there, but it's still better than nothing. So that's down to 0. We reveal walk. We reveal these 0-cost cards for the set. There are the sprints back and a focus as well. So that's the end of our turn. It's his turn. He's going to murder someone. There's no one there, so it's straight onto the terror card. So now he's just coming straight for us, and he's escalating terror by 2 levels, which puts us back into red. So it's a good thing we took that distraction card. And the shortest route, I think, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, he was setting off this way, so it stands to reason he's going to keep walking the same direction. He gets 2 movements, so he's going to go 1, 2 like this. So he's slowly coming towards us. If we can somehow trick him into going to the water... No, only people die in the water. He lives in the water and chops you up. So that's the end of that. It's the panic phase, but there's no panic because everyone's dead or saved. Upkeep phase, nothing to do, so we're back into the actions phase. Let's begin, I think, with the distraction card. No, let's begin with the focus card, because I'd really like to get the distraction card triggering 2, given how bad things have escalated. So we've got 2 dice, because we're in the red zone, but we've got our girlfriend with us. That girlfriend is super good. That's 1 success, which means we lose a time. This should be on 6, I forgot to put it back up. So we lose a time, and we get to de-escalate here. Come on, then. Come on. Oh, she wants me to go with her. I think she wants feeding, but she's very well fed. She's just obsessed with food. It's her one passion in life. She doesn't care about me. She just cares about food. Right. She's got her priorities straight. So focus is resolved. Let's do distraction, because I just want dice, please. I don't know, actually. We're not in a rush. So maybe we should do a search first. No, let's do distraction. 3 dice. Oh, wow. Okay, so that's 2 successes. So this goes down to 4, and we get 2 time. Incredible. Alright, now we'll do search. So that's no successes on search. So let's ditch short rest and walk to just take the top card, and that's the motorboat keys. Not sure how I feel about the motorboat keys, to be honest. Eddie likes them. He said he's won 2 games with them, so... so now the motorboat appears on the map. Where's my motorboat token at? So the motorboat appears at the docks. It's here, and that means that we can go and get the motorboat from the docks. I guess it survived the fire, and then we can take the motorboat from the dock to the cliff to make our point to the cabins, or either any space effectively that borders the water. Actually, so it just gives us a lot of flexibility moving around the lake at the cost of 2 time. All right, I've got 1 search card left. I think I'm going to hang on to it because I have nothing to modify it with. And then what we can do is we can start next turn with another search action. And I guess we're gearing up for this final fight. It's coming. We've only got like 4 more turns before he escalates. So, yikes. But for now, we've got 7 time to spend on cards, which is awesome. So here's search. We've got search. We're going to get walk, weak attack, and focus back in hand. We know we want to buy a sprint for 2. We've got a search. So now we've got 5 left. I'm inclined... We're going to save our girlfriend. I feel like we should, mostly because if she dies, it's terrible. Although, having all the dice would be great. The thing is, if I had a big weapon, I'd feel better about it. My concern is that, because he's going to prioritize killing her if he gets to her. Which is bad. We don't want that. So, did I take a sprint? I did. So, with 5 left, I'm thinking we need to get to save her and to the boat. 5 left, huh? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards in hand. We've got lots of space. We could take distraction. Another distraction. Just try to de-escalate more, get more time. Yeah, let's do it. Distraction and another sprint. And then the turn after this, we start murdering. Right, so that's the end of card purchasing. There is focus back, the other distraction. Search is back. Short rest and walk as well, because I bought both sprints. Right. I feel like once we get into a fight with him, it's just going to be us fighting, and we need guards and retaliates then. Anyway, that was the 5 costs, so that would go down to 0, back up to 6, and that's the end of that. So he's going to murder in his space. There's no one there, so he's going to do this instead. I mean, not instead. This is an addition. So, what's that noise? Let's go and see. If there are no victims on the board, discard and draw the next tarot card. Right, so we've kind of escalated the finale here by dint of saving everyone. Oh no, there is a victim on the board. There's the girlfriend. She's a victim. So, all victims move 1 space towards the closest enemy. Oh, sugar. She's gone to investigate the noise. No! What are you doing? I can't believe you've left. So, the good news is, hang on. Oh yeah, place the motorboat token at the space closest to you bordering the water. Right, I just assumed it was the dock, but actually that would have been here. Eddie is right, the motorboat actually starts here. So my girlfriend actually went out to investigate the sound of the motorboat popping into existence. She's like, hey, there's a motorboat here. I can't believe we never noticed this. So now the the Hans kills whoever's closest to him, but there's no one there. So now he's going to move towards the closest person. He's still got a movement of 1, so he moves over here to this exit point. Fine. So, right, we still want to have a weapon. There's 1 card left. My girlfriend left. So, oh, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll blow the whistle, and then she'll come running back. Come back in here, sweetheart. So we blow the whistle to summon our girlfriend, and then And then we do a search in here. Come on, weapon, please. 2 successes. So we lose another time. We draw the top card, which is the last card in the utility shed deck. It's the lucky dice. Come on. I know you can do it. My daddy had a pair of these and said they bought him luck. Maybe they'll do the same for me. Discard to reroll any or all of your dice. So this is like sort of just better than close call because it lets us use reroll anything. So that's done. So we've got the lucky dice as well. We've got lots of stuff, but what we don't have is a weapon. And I don't even know if there's one in the game still. I guess all the weapons got burned up in the dock. Yeah, man. So I guess we can go to the cabins using the motorboat and see if there's anything useful there. Not my plan, but we're going to have to change the plan because, I mean, also though, it's fine. What is Hans doing? What is he doing over there? He's just hanging out. It's fine. I'm not even, it's like fine. So let's use walk. Or do we should use sprint actually. Sprints. We don't need sprint. Can we interrupt movement to use the motorboat keys, Eddie? Old Man Jackson isn't going to mind if I borrow his boat because I'm pretty sure he's dead. Not very thematic, so let's just walk out to the motorboat. Oh, he should have moved his space closer to me when I blew the whistle. I did not think about that. So now he's right there. And he says, I think so. Yeah, I thought so too. I thought you could interrupt actions to do... So yeah, let's use a sprint. I'm pretty sure you can interrupt action cards to use items. Even mid-resolution. And then you go back to resolving the card. I'm going to double check that before I do it wrong. Sure, that's right, though. I can't find it. And I don't want to spend all of my time reading the rulebook, so let's just get back to it. And assume you can, because that's what we both remember. 1 success. That's fine. I'm okay with 1 success. So that's 2 movement. So we get to go 1 out to here. It's going to cost us 3 times, so we get down to 1 time. It's going to cost us 3 times, because we're going to jump into the motorboat. So we jump in the motorboat, and then we go across the dangerous lake, all the way over to the cabins. And actually, I guess we don't even need 2 points of movement, because we just get out the motorboat here. So that was kind of stupid, but never mind. And then I don't have another search, so I think I'm just going to play distraction and then call that a turn. So that's 1 success. But I'll give up walk. I'll give up focus and walk to make it 2 successes. So those are all done. This goes down to 2, and time goes back up to 3. And that's the end of that. So now it's time for the planning phase, where we've got 3 time. We're going to get focus, short rest, and walk back. We need search. We need search for 2. We've got 1 left, so we might as well buy close call. We're out of time, so it goes back up to 6. These cards go back out. Search again, sprint, distractions back, and focus and walk, the 0 cost ones. he's going to terror. He just keeps coming, so he's going to escalate the terror level back up to 3. He's going to move towards us, still just 1, and then he's going to attack. Nobody. So that's fine. Right, let's search this cabin. Ideally 2 here, because I don't really care about the mysterious pills. Doesn't say you can't in the rules, just says any movement you don't use is lost. Interesting. So I don't know if you can actually interrupt in the way I intended. I also didn't do it because I didn't need to in the end, but maybe don't. I don't know. I'm sure I saw that in the rules that you could, but it might have been part of something else. Uh-oh. Well, that's terrible. Triple 1s. Let's play Close Call and spend 2 time to reroll all of them. One success. So we'll play Short Rest and Focus to make that into 2 successes. So we get to look at the top 2 cards, which is Mysterious Pills, which are... No telling what these are, but I'm out of options. Down the hatch and fingers crossed. So de-escalate terror, heal 2, or the pepper spray. A few squirts in the eyes and they'll think twice about messing with this girl. If the killer is in your space, you may discard this to immediately end the killer phase. Ignore the remaining movement, attacks, and any other effects. Okay, well, we might as well put that into our other hand, because you've got 2 hands. You can carry 2 things or 1 2-handed thing. So... God damn it. Here we go. So, in this case, I'm currently carrying a med kit and a pepper spray. The mysterious pills I will put under the bottom of the item deck, because I don't want to see those again. And now there's but 1 item card left in the game that we haven't seen. But with that in mind, that's the end of search, so we'll call that a turn. He's about to escalate his behavior, which is bad, but... Oh wait, before we do that, we have to do... we've got 4 to purchase cards. Well, obviously we get the other search, and then we've got 2 left. So, with 2 left... I think we purchase a guard card as we just kind of get ready to fight with him. We're going to have to fight him, whatever comes next. You know? There's nothing left to do, so... Yeah, we'll take a guard card, and that puts us down to... do we take a close call to make the best of our last search action? We only need 1 success, because whatever that top card is, that's the last item that we haven't seen. I suppose the pills could be useful, but we can't pick up 2 with 1 search card anyway. I don't want to spend the rest of my... it's fine, yeah. So we'll take a guard and a search. And that puts us onto 0, and then the short rest is... Oh, and we also take walk and focus, the remaining 0 cost cards as well. And then we've got short rest, focus, back, and also search. You would lose any additional movement because you finish resolving the action card and then use the item card. Thanks, Eddie, for looking into that. I do appreciate it. That makes sense. I'm glad that it works that way. I just thought I'd remembered something in the rules about it working differently. But I'm glad it does work that way. Okay, good. So that's the end of that. Time for a terror card. We'll see what he's doing. It is... He just keeps coming, so terror level escalates to 4. And now he's just going to move. He's so slow. Towards us. And that's the end of that. So I'm going to play that search card to see if I can find out what this last item is. I didn't get the rerolls, actually. So I'll give up a walk. And I'll give up both walks to turn that into 1 success, which is draw a card. So Here we go. Come on, weapon. I'm looking for a weapon. Ah! I dropped it. Fireworks. Are these a weapon? Anything... Nothing like a few... nothing like a few bottle rockets and cherry bombs to create a distraction. That's not a weapon. Spend 2 time to place the fireworks token in your space or an adjacent space, not the lake. Discard this card. Whenever the killer must choose a target, they will choose the fireworks instead. Discard the fireworks token when the killer enters the space where it is located. Okay. So I've got a fireworks token here. Spend 2 time to place the fireworks in your space or an adjacent space, not the lake. Discard this card. Whenever the killer chooses a target, they will choose the fireworks instead. Discard the fireworks when the killer enters the space where it is located. Does this mean if I put the fireworks in a space with the killer and then just continue to fight them, that they'll never... Whenever the killer must choose a target, they will choose the fireworks, right? So I understand the theory of this card, but the way it's read... Oh, actually, no, they can't. He's not going to attack the fireworks. No, this is pointless. I don't need this. I just need a weapon. I suppose the one thing I could do is maybe use it to try and protect my girlfriend in some clever way, so that if he's going to move and then attack... No, because the first thing he does is murder someone in his space. So, no, this is kind of useless to me right now. Fine. Well, I don't have much... Do we rescue girlfriend? So that he doesn't escalate his damage? I kind of want to stay here and get those pills just because I'm worried about the fact that I don't have a weapon. Alright, this is it. We spend one more turn in the cabins and then we go and fight the bag man. He's going to come closer to us anyway, it's fine. And that saves us a bit of time. So with that in mind, we can have focus. Oh, do I focus first? Does it matter? Yeah, let's we'll use the focus card before I end my turn. One success. Yeah, that's fine. So down to 5, down to 3. There we go. Not there. Here. And then we'll end the turn, and so we can purchase 5 worth of cards. I need search again to get those pills. That leaves us with 3. Let's take distraction so we can try to de-escalate to green if we're going to rescue girlfriend. And that's all of it. So back up to 6. If you don't have a weapon, how are you going to attack hands? Chaticus, I'm just going to have to try and punch him to death. It's my only option. There's no weapon. I don't need a weapon. It's just I really wanted a weapon, right? So we got focus and short rest back as our 0 costs, leaving walk, and focus as the 0 costs out of our hand. I've got some fireworks, but apparently I can't use those to attack him. I can only use those to distract him. Which I'm not really interested in. So it's his final terror card, so he's going to enter finale mode now anyway. His final terror card is if there are other... So he's going to target my girlfriend. He's going to take 2 steps towards us and then attack twice. And we'd escalate horror for each victim killed during this attack. Fortunately, he doesn't get to us. He goes 1, 2, and he stood right outside the cabins. So this is it, the final showdown. Oh, actually, he might do something on the upkeep card. He might do something off his finale card here. I don't know yet. So, I mean, amazingly... Oh, we're going to get the Dark Power as well. I forgot when he escalates. If you haven't unlocked the Dark Power yet, do both. So, I have probably wasted too much time. On the flip side, you know, I think it was worth it to try and find a weapon. Now it's just going to come down to dice. But So we'll see. So for now we're moving into the panic phase, but there's no panic, but there is an upkeep phase. So we're going to reveal the finale, and then we're going to reveal the dark power. So the finale is this bloodbath. So now he's going to be attacking twice every round, which is real bad. Probably. And his dark power is feed. For every victim that Hans kills, he recovers health. Yeah, because he's eating people. That's awful. Fortunately, there's no victims left on the board, so that's fine. Because we're going to save girlfriend and bail. Yeah, joke's on Hans. I already ate everyone. I mean, saved everyone. So that's the upkeep phase. I can rearrange items if I want. I don't really want to. And now we're back to my turn. So I'll use the search card to do one last search. That's one success. That's all I need to draw the final item, which is the mysterious pills. We knew that already. And then I will use the sprint card to try and sprint with... Actually, before we sprint, let's use distraction. Distraction card. This is it. We're setting up for the final showdown. We need to have some time, so I really need this to go well. Double success. Incredible luck. I'm so good at dice. So we get to de-escalate this by 2, and we get to have 2 time back. And now we're going to use sprint to save girlfriend. We get 4 dice, which is amazing. I've never had 4 dice. Yeah, I understand how the fireworks work, Eddie. It's just, I don't need... So there's the 2 successes. So we get to move 3. It's fine. We're just going to go running past him anyway. Fortunately, we're quite agile and nimble. We look after ourselves. So 1 through his space, 2 to this exit space. We're going to send her away, which gives us 1 more time. We're up to... So we lost 1 time when we did that. We got 1 time back when we saved her, so we're still on 8. I think, right? Did we lose time? No, we should have lost a time for search as well. So we went from 6 to 5, then up to 7 with distraction, and then back up and down with the sprint card there. So girlfriend saved. It's just me and Hans now. I've got no more movement cards, but I do have 7 time. So we're just going to use 7 time to buy retaliate, which we definitely want, which leaves us with 3. With 3, we could get improvise. Or do we just get critical blow? I mean, it's really nasty. Critical blow would be huge, but he's going to attack twice. And I've only got 7, so I can't afford critical blow. No, we'll take retaliate. That takes us down to 3. We'll take... If only we... Do you know what, actually? Before the end of our turn, let's ditch short rest for the cost for 1 time, which you know, that leaves us with 4 time, and then we can buy Furious Strike as well as Retaliate, and then we're down to 0. Don't forget you can ditch cards for time. I said you could do it right at the start. It's really important, and then I totally forgot to do it for the whole game. Not that I really needed to, but anyway. Right, so we can also take back the 0 cost cards, which is the focus and both... if I'm going to get a focus back, actually, I don't really need a focus. So let's ditch this one as well for another time, and we'll purchase Close Call, because I think that's going to be really useful. There we go. All done. So these re-enter the tableau. We go back up to 6 time. Search, distraction, sprint, short rest, and short rest and focus are the 0 costs. So they go over there. And then it's his turn, and all he's going to do now is enter my space and attack me twice. So in response to his attack, we'll use retaliate, which is this one here. And so 1 success, reduce damage by 2 and do damage back. Both successes is ignore all damage. do 2 damage back. So here we go. 3 dice because we're on terror level green. So I see 1 success. So let's use the close call to reroll 1 die and hope that we can get another success here. That would be great. It's just an extra damage because he's currently doing 2 damage, so we don't need to block all of it. Actually, it's just an extra damage. Let's not. Let's keep the close call. And instead we'll just, we'll block both damage and we'll do 2 damage to him. So we do 1 damage from the card, and because we're super Laurie, we do an extra damage. So we do 2 to Hans. And that's his first attack. So then we have to deal with his second attack. We'll just use guard against that. So there we go, 1 success, blocks down 2 damage. He only does 2, so that's fine. How is he going to escalate his bloodlust? Am I missing something here? If he's got no more horror cards, could his bloodlust not go up again? Is this just as angry as he'll ever get? I feel like I must be missing something. Anyway, if I'm missing something here, do let me know. Otherwise, that's the end of his attack. And it's back to me. So I used both of those cards as reactions. So there are 2 kinds of blue cards in the game, Guard and Retaliate in blue, and they are reaction cards that you use in response to his attacks. So I mean, now all we've really got is we've got weak attack, which is not great, focus, a furious strike, which is pretty good. I don't know if we should try and use focus. I'm a little worried about running out of time and not being able to buy good cards. We've got both of these walk cards, which we just don't need, so let's just remember to ditch those and get 2 time. But you know, we could use them to modify the dice. So let's wait on that. Let's use the Furious Strike. I think getting this in is a really good start. So what we want ideally is 2 successes here for 3 damage. Furious Strike. Have at the... so that's... Well, this is why we kept those walk cards. So that's 1 success. So let's ditch a walk, and let's ditch both walk cards to make another success. And that means 3 damage to him, and also we get to de-escalate this again. So if we get it down again, we get time now instead. Time back. So that's good. He's down to 7 health remaining, because that token there counts as 1 until it's revealed, and then it might be 0, 1, 2, or 3. Alright, and then we've got the weak attack, which I guess we might as well use. Do I want to use focus? No, I'm going to keep focus, actually. Let's use the weak attack. So, here it is. Not very good, but better than nothing, right? So that's 1 success, which means we do a damage and lose a health. It's 2 damage because we're super Laurie, or we can ditch both focus and close call to save our health. I think at this stage I'm quite happy to lose a health. For now. So we'll lose a health. He loses 2. That's the end of that. Weak attack's done. And so we've got 6. All the good attack cards are gone with the except... Okay, so we could ditch Close Call and Focus and just buy Critical Blow and Guard. Yeah, let's do that. So we'll ditch our last 2 cards into the action deck to go up to 8, and then we'll spend all 8 to buy this one incredibly expensive attack card for 6, and also the Guard card. And then hope that that just works out. We also get to have a Focus card and a Short Rest card for 0 cost. And that takes us all the way back down to 0. Then it goes back to 6. These re-enter the pool here. So there's the other Guard, the Retaliate, which we need. A bunch of 0 cost, the Furious Strike, which is the next best attack. Our Terrible Weak Attack, the other Close Call, and this cheap Focus. These are all cards that we're going to need, probably. And so that's the end of the planning phase, and it's now his turn, and he's going to just attack me twice. So the first time I'm going to play Guard to block it. And we've got no successes. That's interesting. I will give up Focus and Short Rest for 1 success to reduce his damage to 0. So that's done. Now his second attack, I will Pepper Spray him. So it says if he's in your space, you may discard this immediately to... Oh, if the killer's in your space... Oh, I could have just done this first. Okay, hang on. Yeah, I'll tell you what. This just immediately ends the killer phase. So we'll just let his second attack go through. So I'll take the 2 damage, and then I'll Pepper Spray him next time. And just end the killer phase right away. So we're into the panic phase, upkeep phase. There's nothing to do. So we're back to my turn, where I'm just going to play Critical Blow, and that's it. And hope I get good rolls. I've got the lucky dice if it's terrible. Oh, come on, come on, come on. Okay, so I'll spend lucky dice to reroll 2. It's not good. But, well, it's not too bad. So we can do 3 damage to him. Which leaves him on 2 health remaining. And then we de-escalate this, which gives us a time. And the action phase ends immediately. So in the planning phase, let's buy Retaliate for 4. And we've got 7, though. No, I'm going to use the Pepper Spray. So let's buy Guard for 2, Furious Strike for 4, and Close Call for 1. And then we get all of these back as well. And these ones come back out, which is Short Rest, Focus, Guard, and Critical Blow. Eddie says, looking over the fact, you are doing it correctly. Okay, cool. Thank you, Eddie. Good. So then that's the end of the planning phase. This is... I spent all 7. Goes back up to 6. Those cards came back out. It's the killer phase. I'm going to Pepper Spray him to just skip it. At the last moment, he was Pepper Sprayed! And then it comes back to me, and I will use... I'll use the weak attack, because then if he comes back to life... Now, I immediately end the current phase, don't I? If we reveal health for him. The final health token. If it isn't blank, they come back to life. They gain some health. The current phase immediately ends and plays continues to the next phase. So let's keep the Furious Strike in hand and just use the weak attack to bring him down. I don't have any way of healing. Well, before we do that, let's have the mysterious pills. Let's drink those and get 2 health back. Chomp on those and get our 2 health back. There we go. And now weak attack. Okay, so that's 0, but we have got the opportunity to ditch 2 cards, which is kind of all we need, really. So, because we only need to do 2 damage. So let's ditch both walk cards. Where am I going to walk to? Nowhere. So we ditch the walk cards. That does a damage to us and a damage to him. So we go down to 3. And he goes down to 0. So he loses 1. And then he loses his last health, which is this. So we reveal what this is. And it's a blank, which means he's dead. That was anticlimactic. And that's... I should have done that more dramatically. I feel bummed out. I should have been like, oh, what's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Oh, what could it be? And then it's blank. I can't believe that's blank. Laurie absolutely brutalized him. That was like epic strategizing. Epic strategizing. Laurie just took him apart. He couldn't even touch her. Well, he never really got mad. That was the problem. He just never got really mad. And he should have got madder. Thanks, Jadicus. So, I mean, the funny thing is, I was going to say, I already played as Raiko as well. And so, when I played as Raiko in my first game, it was kind of interesting. The setup was completely different. So we started with pretty much all the victims at the fire pit here. It was called like the Fire Pit Gathering or something. And 1 or 2. 2 were at Makeout Point. Everyone else was here. He was over here. And then, basically, I just managed to ferry them back and forth here and get them all out before he even did anything. So, like, I feel a bit like the Camp Happy Trails setup is not too bad. It's fairly easy. I've won both games of it that I've played. And also, Raiko also found the keys to the motorboat, and I never even used it. But she found an aluminum bat, and she just beat his head in with it. It was brutal. Her superpower is she can just teleport to him. So I just kept following him around and hitting him with a bat. Which was hilarious. So, if you want to escalate the difficulty, there is the Bloody Frenzy cards. This is an epic dark power that you can give him in lieu of his normal dark powers. Or you can just give him this as well. I don't know exactly how you're instructed to incorporate this. If you put it face down and then when you reach the dark power stage you reveal that. Or if you just start him with it so that his bloodlust escalates twice as fast. I think that would be fine, because in both games his bloodlust hasn't got very high. And I don't know if that's by dint of lucky deployment, but seeing as it's happened twice, I think it's probably more like this is sort of an intentionally gentle map. And yes, I did also get... so I did actually technically unlock Raiko's secret item, but I didn't open it because I don't want to spoil it. I didn't want to spoil it for those of you who haven't seen before. I've now also unlocked Laurie's secret item, which is great. I get to use both of those. What was my final health? Ooh, 1. So you can also escalate it by flipping this board over. So the core set board flips over to this red extreme horror side, and then it's you can see that there is just less time every round, and also this segment is like way bigger. So that's another way to escalate the difficulty. So, you know, when I'm talking about these kinds of, whether it's a solo game or a cooperative game, I always say, you know, like, give me ways to escalate the difficulty and ideally sort of tell me how that's going to make it harder. And what I like about these escalation options are that it's quite clear to me how it's going to make it harder, right? With the extreme horror mode, it just, you have slightly less time and slightly less options. With the Blood Frenzy, he's going to escalate faster in terms of his murderous rage. I've heard people say that it's quite random, the game. Yeah, I mean, interestingly, both games that I've played now of Camp Happy Trails Hans have felt quite different, even though they played out kind of the same way. This one was a bit longer. Raiko just... I mean, I actually also had that fire event, so I don't know if I've just managed to draw like a bunch of the same terror cards in both games. Although the fire event came much later in Rico's game. The cabins blew up, actually. Fortunately, there was no one inside, but I lost all the items. But I didn't really go hunting for items with her because I just found one of the top items in the setup was the aluminum bat, and I just grabbed it and then won with that. Oh, what were the items that burned? Yeah, was there actually a weapon in this game? So there was the energy drink, which gives us more time or gives us a movement. There was the knife. There was the weapon. Damn it. An axe. All the weapons. And the old revolver. Literally every face down card in that deck was a weapon. That's so annoying. I mean, it's lucky we were Laurie because her escalation is an extra damage. If we'd had to punch like 12 times, then that would have been really bad. So again, you can see kind of how the game was random there in the sense that if we were any other final girl, or final girl that didn't do extra damage, then that would have made this so much harder. And again, like, there is like a chance. I don't know actually if there are... I don't know how many weapons are in the item deck overall. So I don't know if you're basically guaranteed to always have a weapon in the game. I mean, it looks like it. There's another 3 weapons here. So that's six weapons in a deck of 18 cards. And you deal out 12. So if you deal 12 into the game, and there are 6 weapons and 18 cards, there's always going to be 6 that are out. So yeah, there's a very slim chance there might be 0 weapons. There's a very slim chance that the 6 cards you don't deal out are the 6 weapons. Yeah, the whistle was awesome. The whistle was super useful just to move those people around. But the thing is, you kind of need stuff to help you with movement. In the game I played with Raiko, I was just very lucky because everyone started in this space. And so I just like sprinted back and forth between these 2 spaces, ferrying them all to freedom, while he kind of stood around up here and didn't really move. And I just kind of got lucky that his terror cards didn't have him moving back and forth super quickly. But yeah, I mean, so I'm ready to make it harder. I understand the other scenarios, the other movie boxes make it harder. I hope that when the difficulty escalates, it doesn't just escalate by making it kind of more random. But I'm also kind of okay with that. Like, I don't mind a bit of a roller coaster game. I understand that puts a lot of people off. Because, you know, they feel like it's frustrating. Then again, you know, I'd much rather play a roller coaster game of this length than, say, Frostpunk, which takes hours to set up and even more hours to play. Like, it's all day, you know? Having said that, and I'm comparing it to Frostpunk because that also feels like a solo game, although allegedly it can go up to 4. But yeah, 30-minute roller coaster I can forgive more. Obviously, this is a bit longer because it's on stream, but, you know, generally speaking, this is pretty short. And, you know, if you're not really enjoying it, just reset it, try again, or change something up, go again. You know, yeah, this was really enjoyable. I'm really keen to see how the other boxes sort of play out, how they change it up. The Poltergeist one looks really fun. I've got that, so I'm really keen to give that a shot. Obviously, this is a solo game, so if solo gaming's not your thing, then this is hard to recommend. But if you do like solo gaming, obviously this is designed to be a solo game, and it seems to have some good escalation points. It seems fairly short. It's really easy to set up once you understand. The rulebook was kind of a slog. Like, the rulebook was weirdly difficult, given how simple the game actually is. And I don't know if that's because it's trying to cover all these different iterations of the game, or if that's just because the game's quite abstract. You know, it's like, it's, when I say it's abstract, you know, it's a very thematic game. It's very motivated by its theme. So the mechanisms are built around these sort of conceptual things like time and stuff. Chadicus says, I can't wait to play this. I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably going to live stream it a few more times because it's so easy to do, and there's more boxes to discover. I did ask, actually, in the Patreon vote what other combos you'd like to see, but I can't remember if anyone actually answered. I don't think anyone actually answered, so... yeah, because I checked where people voted for this, and nobody had written anything, so... if you want to see some specific movie box, message me on the Patreon. Let me know what you'd like to see. And leave a comment down below if you're not a patron, and I'll certainly read those too. Otherwise, let's have a look at these secret items. So if you want to avoid spoilers, look away now. And I'll just say thank you so much for watching. And if you want to support the show, please check out the Patreon. It really helps out. And, you know, if that's beyond your means, that's completely understandable. We are going through a pretty rough time right now. You can always just subscribe and like the video. That also helps out. Right, let's have a look. So this is Reiko's. This is the first card I got. Okay, so this is... Reiko's axe. This item can be used when Reiko is chosen as the final girl. To incorporate it into your game, simply shuffle it into the chosen location's deck of items before setup. If you'd rather ensure it's in the game, deal out the appropriate number of item cards less than 1, and shuffle Reiko's axe into the deck before dealing out the separate item cards. Cool. And the cool thing about that is if you do use this, then that means you're guaranteed to have at least one weapon in one of the decks. Oh wow, that's awesome. The bigger they are, the harder they fall, especially with this baby in my hands. You may roll an additional die when resolving weak attack action card. Only Reiko may use this item. Nice one. And here's Laurie's. Is this going to be the sword? This is going to be the katana. I noticed her miniature has a katana. A bow. Laurie's bow. Okay, interesting. This item can only be used with Laurie. Is it the same rules? Yeah, shuffle it in either before or after, depending on how sure you want it to be in the game. Oh, that looks really cool. Come on. You can do it, bud. I believe in you. Come on, guy. I need to read what it says. I won the Nationals with this bow. I never miss out, and that's not going to change today. I never miss, and that's not going to change today. So it's range 1 to 3, which is great. We didn't actually come across any ranged weapons, but they have a minimum range as well sometimes. There we go. You found the card. Good job. So the minimum range is the 1 to 3. So you can't use this if you're in the same space as the killer, because that would be range 0. Am I disconnected? Okay, no, apparently my streaming software is just being funky. That's fine. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so the minimum range is 1, which means you have to be at least 1 space away, but you could be up to 3 spaces away. Two-handed, does 1 damage, and then it's got 3 uses. So those little white circles are use circles. So you'd fill those up with tokens, and then every time you use its power or whatever, you'd give up a token. Oh, I guess those are the arrows. So you have to use an arrow to fire it. So she's only got 3 shots. Laurie's bow cannot modify an action card and must be used without one. It costs a time to fire an arrow. Okay, so she can just spend like 3 time to fire. Okay, that's cool though. So she just does 3 damage. Nice one. Awesome. So I'll be able to put those into my setup as well. Excellent. So I think there's a secret card for every single final girl in the game, with the exception possibly of the one that came in Death from Above. But I don't know what happened to her card. I'll have to track it down. Anyway, yep, let me know what you'd like to see for the next Final Girl stream. And in the meantime, let's call that a night. Thank you all so much for watching. And yeah, we'll definitely be back for a bit more of this, because I think that's quite light, good fun. Let me know what you'd like to see. And in the meantime, thanks for subscribing. I'll probably be back on the weekend for something more. So I hope you have a lovely week, and I hope you've had a lovely Valentine's as well, whatever you've chosen to do. Bye-bye for now.